I want to welcome you to this video. It's just going to be a talking head video. I'm just sitting here chilling out on the back porch. Beautiful weather out here. Come a little rain earlier, cooled things off, but I got a cool breeze coming through. My road trip is over. The road trip across America, I think I hit about 19 states. I think 19. So the road trip is over. I'm just going to kind of talk about some of my observations, what I learned, just from a person who's been living abroad, been living as an expat, traveling around, haven't been around America in a while. So this is just an informal talk. If you're looking for a action-packed video, I don't think this is going to be it. But first of all, I'm going to kind of go backward in time and just thank some people throughout this video. People who send us money and support our channel, on various platforms, back channels. And I can't email everybody, and I can't ask you whether or not you want your name posted. So I'm not reading last names, but I just want to say thanks to Peter from New Zealand, Jay from California, Carl from Kansas, ID from Connecticut, Mike from Canada, and then initials SM, who sent some money for some beer. Thank you very much. Kay, who sent some chicken for Fatima and a book for Forrest G. Thank you very much. William, and not sure where you're from, my friend, and David from Washington. And I'm just kind of going backwards in time. So I got like 2 more pages of folks to thank, but I'll try to just mix that in with the video. So 19 states, what have I learned? What did I observe? America has changed, but it's still the same. And I know that's very vague and really doesn't tell you anything, but America is still the land of opportunity. Everywhere you go, there's help wanted signs, people are hiring. Now obviously this pandemic that we're going through and the overblown continued response at this point. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, when you don't know what you don't know, initially when this virus came out, well, obviously you got to err on the side of caution. But where the world has went wrong is that once the data has come in, we're 8 months into this. You want to back it up when the shit got released over there at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, probably back in October of 2019. We're way into this, folks. This is not MM88. This is not the bird flu, H5N1, highly pathogenic avian influenza. It's none of those things. I'm not saying it's not a real virus. It is a real virus. Pretty sure, I caught the virus back in January after hanging out with some Chinese brethren, fresh off a flight from mainland China. It knocked me on my ass for 5 days, and it just, barely affected the ladies and the babies, pretty much just breezed through it. You can check out that previous video if you haven't seen that one, but 99% sure I've already had this shit. Yeah, it was rough. It put me in the bed for 5 days. Even before any of this shit came out, I did that video, and I just attributed it to all the Chinese folks chain smoking around me. If I'm around chain smokers and a lot of cigarette smoke, it screws up my lungs for a week or 2. But looking back, that's what it was. So I'm not here saying it's not a real virus. It is a real virus. It put me on my ass for 5 days. Couldn't leave the bed. But it's the response that's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. Over 19 states, what I observed is that even in the states with the government's order that says you have to wear a mask or you have to quarantine or you have to lock down, nobody gives a shit. Nobody. And I'm talking, I can talk about New Mexico, California, nobody's listening to the governor's order. Nobody gives a shit. They're worried about living their lives and making a living. And so no matter what order these governors put out, you're just wasting time. You know, I was in Orange County, California. Restaurants were packed. People enjoying themselves. The beaches were packed. The little lady's got a booth up. People signing petitions to recall Governor Newsom. So nobody cares. Now, with that said, when I first got here to the States, it was explained to me that there's basically a clear divide. You've got Republicans who are ready to move on and don't give a shit about these lockdowns or masks, and then you've got the CNN watchers, the liberals, who are on the other side of the fence. And I kind of thought that was crazy. But in my travels of 19 states, it seems pretty clear. This is at this point, this is nothing more than a political weapon. I'm not saying it was designed as a weapon. Let me clarify this. My initial stance, this was an accident at the lab. The Chinese know what happened. The U.S. at the higher levels, they know what happened. It was an accident. But all of the, certain entities took it as an opportunity to further their agenda. And then you take countries that, I hate using third world. Developing is like, developing nations was like a better word than calling them third world countries. Tier 1, Tier 2, places that, let's just say smaller countries. Well, you can't say smaller countries. You know what I'm talking about. Places that are developing, that don't have the specialists in the healthcare system, the robust healthcare system that we have in the West, in the U.S., in the U.K. They're scared because they truly don't understand this. So what do? They just they do what they see others doing, and then it's very easy for the next country to follow that and follow that and follow that, and it's just, they don't know what the hell to do. And that's why you're seeing these lockdowns in other places that are continuing, because they just don't know what they don't know. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of you that are going to disagree with me, and this whole talk is not just about this COVID stuff, but it is an observation. Okay, since this thing started, I went from Thailand to the Philippines, back to Thailand, back to Manila when the lockdown started, escaped Manila, got home, got locked down for months. Now I'm here in the U.S. I've been in 19 states. I've been partying like a rock star. And I'm telling you, I mean, people, what you hear on the news is absolutely just inaccurate. If you're any of my viewers and my buddies over there in the Philippines, outside the U.S., there is nothing that you can believe about the news. For everything, it's just absolutely fake. I saw this article the other day, that just a headline that said 3 out of people want masks mandated nationwide. That's absolutely not correct. That is absolute horseshit. The numbers that they're putting out there is just absolute horseshit. So at this point, from what I've observed and what I've been through, and folks, I'm 47 years old. I'm approaching that demographic that is at the at-risk group. I've already had it. It hurt me. It didn't kill me. I've been many places since then. Haven't seen the first body laying in the street. I look at the hospital parking lots, and most of the time they're ghost towns. I'm just telling you what I observe. I haven't observed in any state or country since this shit started an overflow of ambulances, you know, digging fucking mass graves. It's all about how the news spins stuff. When they say, you know, I read an article early on, this is a Philippine article, something about, you know, this hospital's morgue was like 80% over capacity. Well, then if you dig into the article, it's like a morgue that holds 4 people, 4 bodies, and they had 7 or some shit like that, right? So the way the news is portraying the situation here is, it's not conditions on the ground by no means. But with that said, there is a clear divide. It seems that you have your Biden supporters wearing masks, and I don't know if I say they support the lockdown, but maybe they're still hiding out in their basement. And you have the other side of the fence who are just living their lives. I mean, for example, here in the South, you know, in Georgia, we're shaking hands. And not everybody, but yesterday I met a guy. We're not wearing masks. We shook hands. Nobody gives a shit. Ain't nobody dying. But you're still hearing this stuff because they're, as an observer, it seems to me that at this point it's just a political weapon to get rid of Trump. Now, before you say, oh, you're nothing but a Trump supporter, folks, I've said before, I haven't lived in America to have a good enough informed opinion. I just got here a month ago. But from an outside observer who's been an expat for years, this seems to be a political weapon just to get rid of them. And I think at this point they stand a good chance to do that. With Hillary Clinton as president, you know, be announcing her name at the Democratic convention with who is it, Susan Rice. And then once November is over, I don't think we're going to hear too much about, you know, SARS, coronavirus 2, COVID-19, the Rona, the virus, the pandemic. It's all going to fade away. So no matter what the outcome is of that election is in November, I'm looking forward to November so we can just get on with our lives. Whoever the hell is going to be in charge, Trump, Hillary, at this point we just need to get past this madness of this message that they're pushing on us, and let's just move forward. Okay, I mean, we're playing baseball games with nobody in the stands and people are over in the dugout wearing masks. Do you know how fucking ridiculous that seems? Now look, if you're in New York listening to this, or you know, you're in the Philippines, this may sound crazy because you're still in that mindset of you got to wear a mask. 19 states, several countries. I don't know what else to say other than anybody who continues to support this, they are enemies of our children. Locking our children down, keeping them from going to school, keeping them from developing as they should be doing. And it's not needed. Now you show me something like MM88. Well, okay, that's a different story. This is not MM88. Alright? Alright, so enough about that. But yeah, even California, when I was there, restaurants packed, beaches packed, people fucking living their lives. Let's see, the other thing, you know, if you listen to all the news, racial tensions with the Black Lives Matter movement. And again, I haven't been here, so I haven't seen this in my face every day. I've only been here a month. What have I observed? In Atlanta, somebody had painted Black Lives Matter and spray paint over an interstate. That's the only sign I saw in Atlanta. Chicago, I saw 2 people wearing t-shirts. Hollywood, there was some messages there with actually some pretty good art on those pieces of plywood on the side of that building. It's not how the news portrays it. Another absolute false. I'm not saying that it's not going on. I'm not saying it's a movement. I'm saying that it's been sensationalized to the point that it's not what it is. Okay? I've been in 19 states, partying, drinking, going out to eat, mixing and mingling. I've been around white folks, black folks, Hispanic folks, Asian folks, Native Americans. I've been around everybody. Not one person has treated me any different than they treated me 10 years ago when it comes to race relations. Nobody. We just treat each other like people. And so when I tie that into the protests, I drove all over. I put thousands of miles on those rental cars. Enterprise fucking hates me right now. But I didn't see any protests. I'm not saying that protests aren't going on. What my point is going to be is that America is a big place, a big, beautiful country, right? For me to get to see any of these protests, it's like I have to drive to fucking Disneyland or Disney World. It has to become a destination location. If I wanted to see protests, I specifically have to drive to damn Portland right now. I specifically would have had to go up to DC when I first got here. On specific days, in specific areas of specific cities. It's not like you come to America and see protests and racial tensions and, you know, people putting special interest groups messages in your face. It's not what I have observed. Unless I pull out my cell phone and I go online. And once I go online into this imaginary world that we call the internet, ain't nothing real on the internet, comma, homie, period. When you go into that fantasy land, everything is about what? Protests, racial injustice. But that's not what I've experienced, and I don't think that's not the conditions on the ground. You have to go to specific places where specific people have gathered, point your camera exactly at those specific people, and hope that somebody lights something on fire where you get some kudos with the boss. Flames, smoke, destruction, that sells newspapers. Not everyday story of people treating each other like people. So, no protest. Nobody showed me any racial inequality. Nobody called me a cracker. We're just people. So the news, if you're outside the U.S. and you're watching the news, number one, about this COVID stuff, 99% horse shit. About all this friction between the races. I mean, we're all fucking Americans, right? We're all people. We're all part of what's called a human race, humanity. So you have to go to certain places on certain days to get to see that. And look, I'm not downplaying anybody's message, movement, anything like that. I'm just telling you what I've observed. Ain't nobody treated me any different. So that's my observation on that too. let's see. As far as shit going on between like Democrats and Republicans and stuff, I was in Hollywood. I saw some signs up next to this bar. They painted all, it said, F you Trump, down with Trump. It was kind of funny, actually. Obviously, they didn't like President Trump. And then I was up, I can't remember, Wyoming or somewhere, northern New Mexico, Montana. There was a Democratic candidate sign, and somebody had spray painted Trump across it. Yeah, big deal. When I talk about things have changed, but they're still the same, a lot of people overly fake. And I'm almost starting to understand now why some of you guys watch my channel. Because I say what the fuck's on my mind. Most of the time I'm drinking, so I really don't give a fuck. But everybody just seems to be overly fake because they're so scared about saying something that's going to offend somebody else, or it might be insensitive, that it's just like they got these fake smiles, fake, like acting like they're interested in what you got going on. We used to call it being politically correct. But it's just went like to a higher elevation than from when I left years ago. Overly fake. People are just scared to say what's on their mind. It just seems like just gotten to the extreme. So like I said, America is still a great place to live. This place is still the land of opportunity. There's jobs everywhere. If you want a job in America, you can find a job. If you can't find a job in the U.S., then you don't want a job. Real estate changing hands. I've been in some places, folks, in the U.S., without going off on a real estate tangent. There's fucking real estate popping right now in certain areas of the country. It's a great time in certain areas to be a real estate agent. I'm going to tell you that. Even in the construction business. My old man used to judge the economy by his parking spot at Home Depot. When the bubble bursts, you can go to Home Depot, park right up front, right? Because ain't nobody there buying shit. There ain't no construction. There ain't nothing going on. The economy's dead. And he told me, a couple years ago, he said, man, goddamn economy is rocking on. He said, I can't even get a damn parking spot at Home Depot. I got to park way out in the lower 40 up there by the road. So even with this slowdown, it seems like the real estate and the construction is still, it's just raring to go. And I think that's another reason why the certain elements need to keep everybody locked down until November, to where it appears that everything is shit, and then they're going to get Trump out of there and Hillary comes in, she opens everything up, boom, the economy's going to come back. So all these doom and gloom motherfuckers, I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there on the doom and gloom. Alright, a couple of bad things that Alright, this whole trip, folks, I thought when I set foot in the U.S., I was going to have badass Wi-Fi everywhere I went. I was going to be able to upload videos. Wrong was I. Now look, if you're sitting at your home studio or whatever and you got badass internet, okay, well, good on you. But riding out on the road, trying to upload videos, B, trying to find a hotel with any type of speed over 5 up, and most hotels would have like 15 down and 5 up. That's the best you could get. Now if you're just a normal guy, you can sustain life on that. When you're uploading 30 to 40 gig 4K videos that are an hour long, can't do it. You can't pull it off with that equipment. And so this entire trip has been absolutely frustrating with uploading videos. I mean, I would literally have to stop, you know, hit upload and wait 30 hours to get a video loaded. It's just absolutely ridiculous compared to what I'm used to at my little penthouse suite next to a mountain right off of Subic Bay in the Philippines, and I have fiber optic coming in there with 150 up and 150 down. Stable, never fluctuates. It take me 7 minutes to upload these videos. Over here it's taking like 7 days. It's a little exaggeration, but it seems the U.S. as far as the tech structure way behind, especially way behind Thailand, but way behind the Philippines. I drive down the road, you know, and you'll be lucky to see a sign in a lot of places that says fiber coming soon. I'm like, what? Why in the hell doesn't every fucking house over here have a fiber line running to it? You know, broadband coming soon. What? America, what'd you do? Build a, you know, all the fiber optic line in the world went over to Southeast Asia, where I can literally, now I'm living in a crib, but I can move down the street into a bamboo hut. I could build a bamboo hut, and I could get a fiber optic line running there with 150 up, 150 down. And over here, one place I was at, we were batting 4 megs down, 1 meg up. That's like dial-up from 20 years ago. And that's the only thing that was available in that area. The best I had here was, what was it? I think it was 15 up and 20 down, something like that. That was at one hotel. So the infrastructure here on comms, my goodness. And maybe if you're in Austin or, you know, Silicon Valley, but I just went to 19 states, and my toughest thing was trying to find an internet fast enough to upload videos. And what everybody said was, oh yeah, our internet's fast. How fast is it? Oh, it's blazing fast. Most of the time they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But a lot of times they did, because like where I'm at right now, it's something like 100 down, but only 4 up. Just don't seem to give a fuck about the upload speed. So the internet's a little behind. During the whole trip, I didn't see a whole lot of cops, police officers, troopers, whatever, law enforcement. It's like they're in hiding out mode, and for good reason. I mean, it's a shitty time to be a cop right now. But I went to all these different areas, and I looked around, and you know, I'm thinking back 10 years ago, 15 years ago when I was in that area. You used to see cops everywhere. Now it's like they're all fucking hiding out, just absent. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I mean, they got a fucking shit job to do right now and getting shit on. Oh, somehow or another, I dialed up a video. Yeah, so I didn't see a whole lot of cops. I did get to see a few up close from a little bit too much partying. I think I got thrown out of one bar and one restaurant, and their attitudes were shitty. But I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I mean, any cop in America today, man, my heart goes out to you, because I couldn't do it again. I couldn't do it during these conditions. But with all the stress that they're under, you know, they don't come to work in a jovial mood. I understand it. So that's an observation. I just didn't see a whole lot of cops. Thousands of miles in the middle of Los Angeles, Hollywood Boulevard. I never saw LAPD. Like, where the fuck are you guys? Alright, back to thanking some folks. Folks, let me thank some more folks here. William from Kentucky. Let's see, is this RP? Said keep the family safe. Stephen from Indiana. William from Maryland. Radley from the UK. Joe from Minnesota. Daniel from the UK. See, Mohammed and Steve, not sure where you guys are from, but thanks everybody for your support. Roger from Texas, Richard from Florida. Got a friend from Ireland, doesn't want to be named. Tony from Tennessee, James from Pennsylvania, Melvin from Ohio, Ronald from Arizona, Lawrence, Ronaldo from Nevada, Michael from New Hampshire. I got Thomas, and let's see, Al from Washington, Robert from the UK, Mac from Maryland, Stephen from the Philippines, Dario from Canada, and James from Australia. I want to thank everybody for all your support. Thanks for watching our videos and everything you do for us on the back channels. And I may be double tapping this because I'm not sure how far I went back, but Robert from Arizona, Dennis from New Zealand, Michael from Texas, Aaron, Mike, and Jack, unknown locations. Let's see, Calvin and Chris, both from California, Mark from New Jersey, Joel from California, and let's see, William from South Dakota, Steve from Minnesota, and my friends in the well, I like I said, folks, if some people don't want to be named, I don't know. A lot of these things they come across, I don't have your email or your address. So see, Bert from the Netherlands, Dennis from Canada, Rodney from Massachusetts, Pan from New York, Michael from Canada, Mark from Arizona, and Robert wanted me to say shout out to DJT in the 5.0 with the rag top down. James from Alabama, Francis from Washington, Busy, and Alexander from New York. Thanks to everybody for all the support. So the road trip is over, and you know, now I got to work on what's next. But you know, shout out to wife number one, most beautiful Fatima, girl, I miss you, Helen of Troy, and my babies Forrest G and Maria Mercedes. And folks, if you don't know, Manila just got locked down for another, what is it, another 2 weeks. You know, my little girl's always caught up in that lockdown down there, and everybody's fine, but you say fine, but how fine can you be when you're locked down? You know, like like you're in prison. Hopefully things are going to improve over there. I talked to some people in Barrio Barreto. Apparently some bars are open. Some hotels are open. That's good. I think they put the checkpoint back there, so my old lady can't go over to Divvy Mart anymore. She has to go back all the way to Subic. Useless. But at least we're seeing some type of progress. With some bars open and hotels are open, that's a good sign. I know there's a lot of you out there, just like me. You know, you got family, friends, girlfriends, babies over there, and you haven't seen them in months, just like me. So I know you're in the same boat. You know, and I was talking to one of my family members today, and folks, everybody's in the same boat because of this stuff. I'm just expressing how it's affecting me and my opinions and my observations. And I know I'm going to get hit in the comments, oh, you're just bitching. Well, it's how you perceive it. I'm sharing what I'm thinking with you. I'm sharing my thoughts. That's all I'm doing. That's what this platform's about, right? So that's all the notes I had. Oh, one more thing I observed, like, it seems like everywhere you go, now look, obviously there was billboards back then, but like, I would say 80% of the highway billboards on the side of the road throughout the interstates of America are attorneys promising you, you know, $12 million settlement, you know, for your accident. I'm talking 80%. It's almost like they want to put them like half a mile apart, so when you get in a crash, you look up, you know, you got fucking 3 bones sticking out, you look up and you see that motherfucker's billboard, and you're like trying to call while they're loading you in the ambulance. My goodness, I would say 80% of the signs, they're for attorneys threatening to sue somebody for you. Welcome to America. We sue each other for everything and anything. But I don't remember every damn billboard sign everywhere I go being attorneys threatening to sue you. There's something wrong with that. There's something seriously wrong with that. That they're encouraging you. Look, I'm not saying if somebody does something to you and you're not entitled to some type of compensation. That's not what I'm saying. But it's almost like cigarette smoking. You know, if you're going to ban marketing materials for cigarette smoking, maybe we should ban some of this, these attorneys from fucking putting these big ass billboards up on the side of the interstate. I hate regulation, but I'm just talking out my ass. But it's just funny as fuck. They're just everywhere. You know, you get in a crash, you don't need to Google nobody. You just fucking look up. You know, just look up. You got that seat collar on. You're getting loaded in the ambulance. You're like, whoa, whoa, hold up. Let me write that number down. What's some last 4 digits up there? Write that shit on. You know, write that on that fucking tape holding that IV in my arm. It's just crazy. Folks, I think that's all I got to say this video. I dropped the quality down to 1080, so hopefully now I can get some of these things uploaded. If you're not a subscriber, right there, bottom right hand corner of your screen, hit that Overstay Road sign. Get on board my channel. I don't have a niche here. If you're watching my videos because you like the Philippines, well, you know, it'll be a minute before I get back over there. So you just stay with me. I'll be back in the Philippines before too long. Missing my babies. Hope you have a great day wherever you're at in the world, my friends. Peace out, and I'll see you on the next one.